Hello, welcome back. It's been an eventful week in Dota 2. The Battle Pass is finally out. Re-calibration is happening. Ag's Labyrinth, Arcanas, plenty to talk about. Marco, welcome back. How are you doing?
Thank you. Doing very good.
You excited, or are you in annual Battle Pass sort of humbug mode, or are you pretty hyped?
Confession, I need to buy the Battle Pass still.
Because I know. I was just scrolling through this list. I couldn't see you. I was like, what's going on? For me, I'm all for the Ags Lab. That beats Battle Pass to me this Christmas or winter. I will get the Battle Pass, but I'm surprised you can do Ags Lab without the Battle Pass. I thought it'd be part of it, but it looks like it's not.
Everyone could do it last time as well, right?
Possibly, I can't remember.
They've tied it in at least now where some of the heroes you can, unlock last year's heroes through Battle Pass. But that's about it.
Yeah. I'm on the level 1 hype train where you get a courier and a ward that's pretty cool. You get an immortal treasure, and it's actually relatively easy to level up, I think. Maybe we'll get into
controversial.
Controversial, yeah. I don't know. Maybe we need like a Reddit hive mind to tell us what to think on this. But I mean, I'm on 16 out of 18 week 1, so I've almost completed week 1, and I've got on I'm on level 7 already. I only bought the Power Pass yesterday or something, day before yesterday. To be fair, I have been smashing Dota like a lot this week, so maybe it's just because of that. But
what's those? Those Aghanim's treasure things with you click it and the donkey kicks it. I don't know what you call those. Helping hand or whatever.
Yeah.
They were bugged the first couple of days, but I opened a couple and they gave me 2 levels each. Like, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely good. It's really good. Because you could have seen them giving like 200 Battle Pass points.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if 2 levels is like if I just rolled lucky on 2 of them, or if that's like standard,
Yeah, no, I got I've had 3 of them, and I rolled 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, so that seems standard.
Okay.
Sort of 2k area. So that's been my experience as well. And
yeah, I think I might
definitely get the last one.
You know me, I gotta buy the 100 level one, but I think I'm at 110 already. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For less than a week.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I've had a few cavern fails though, trying to win my first cavern. I haven't even managed it yet, but there you go. But yeah, Battle Pass. I don't know where we want to start. Do we want to start with Ag's Labyrinth maybe? I feel like this is what most people are talking about. I can talk about some of my ranked games later maybe, but Ag's
I was going to start with paraphrasing the Battle Pass is just bullshit Reddit thread. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, what's this? I have something I missed.
It was just
people are mad.
It was just a whinge thread. Yeah.
It has to be.
I was going to recite it as my opener, but I forgot.
Oh no, I haven't even seen the whinge thread. Feel bad. Ag's Labyrinth. Then, what's the verdict? What's changed since last time? I'll leave it up to you two as the
new and experts. Improved, better game mode.
Nice. More faces.
So
more faces
what's new? Yeah, there's a bunch of new heroes, which adds to the replayability. There are 5 difficulty tiers. I've played it 14 times, and I'm still hitting rooms I haven't seen before. I've beaten tier 1 and tier 2, and tier 3 I haven't gotten very far in, admittedly, but there's different rooms on different tiers, and they've recycled, or they've brought back some of the old rooms. And there's a bunch of new mini bosses, and I'm liking it so far. I like it quite a bit.
Nice. What's your take, Marco? I mean, how many times have you played it? Perhaps not enough to compare to last Ag's Lab where you were in grind mode. Is that on the cards, or what?
So my grind mode last time was largely driven by the voice line and wanting to have the badge of you've got the level 4 voice line, which last season was one of the top 2 voice lines. I think like number 2 was good, but then number 4 was a really good voice line. So that drove me last time to sweat it. This time, okay, yeah, I've not played it loads yet. I think only a few times. I will want to get to 5 just for the badge and for the achievement. The incentive I feel is weaker. When I was listening to the voice lines you win, they're really short. Last year's they were a decent phrase and like quite long. These ones are all kind of 4 words long. They're all really short, which is boring. So that's
Where do you
annoying.
find the voice lines?
If you go and customize,
I admit
your chat wheel,
nothing. I admit nothing but my sadness that you're gone.
That's the best one. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
I think level 1 this year could be the best voice line of the 5. There's something about chili and so spicy. It's fun. But then the later tiers, they're not as good in my opinion. And that was quite a strong carrot last time. So, but like Adam says, there's a lot of variety and I'm only a few games in.
Oh, I totally forgot to mention there's that whole Path of Exile talent tree Aghanim shards you earn per round, like roguelite elements of progression, where you get points, you spend them on buffs, presumably to make it easier the next times you try. That's quite cool. Satisfies the grind button in people.
I reckon they didn't think it'd be this popular. I think it was more popular than expected last season. And that this season, with how many new heroes they've got, how many new bosses, new rooms, I feel like they were like, yeah, we've got to meet that demand and make it really quite big. Because they've got a lot of heroes now. It used to be a very small pool. I guess maybe half of them are last season, so maybe that is still comparable. But it just feel like the rooms are more varied and, like Adam says, coming across new ones all the time. Way more new bosses. So I'm impressed, I have to admit.
Yeah, I haven't even played some of the mini bosses yet. Like Timbersaw and Winter Wyvern. I don't know if... I guess they're not locked by tier 3, but... Actually, I played Timbersaw one time. But I have not played Winter Wyvern. Lots of Earthshaker, Dark Willow, Tinker,
Pugna. God.
Well, that's... Pugna's not even a mini boss. That's just one of the rooms, and it might be the most ridiculous room out of any of them.
And there's 5 tiers, so imagine how hard tier 5 is going to be to complete.
Yeah, tier 2 is 1 less life, and each room has 1 buff. Tier 2 is, additionally, you earn 10% less gold, and the rooms have 2 buffs. Elite rooms have 3 buffs, and it's pretty tough.
Yeah, tier 5, that's going to be challenging to say the least. I wonder how many games that will take for either of you to achieve it if you were going for that.
Oh, Adam, who was it that we played with a CIS Pro last time? Was it funny?
Oh, did we play with 9 Pasha?
Oh, was it Pasha? Yeah.
9
Pasha.
I think we did.
Yeah, he carried us, I think, one time from... I think it was from 3 to 4. He carried us, maybe. That was pretty cool.
Do we have any lowdown on some of the strats? Stuff that's stood out so far?
Well, you always want AoE, split damage type stuff. I think Undying's really good. Pretty fun.
Yeah, I like Undying as well.
Pretty fun to play. There was that game that we played with someone that played Undying, and he had I guess he had all the decay talents. He was doing something like 12k HP off of Strength Steel, and was gigantic that he was like off the screen with how tall his model is.
He had the decay with attack talent, so he was decaying with every right click, and he had like 25k HP. So that was balanced and fun.
I think the Tombstone is really good for is kind of like a pseudo taunt with the creeps wanting to hit it. And it just goes a long way to distracting things. And then you always need like an aura carrier.
Yeah.
So he's like good for Vlad's mech, Solar Crest, AC type stuff. Wind Waker is very strong.
What's the StarCraft 2 unit? The shuttle, Terran, Vac,
Medevac.
Medivac. You can do that with that was really fun with the Tombstone talent, where you can jump in the Tombstone and therefore dodge projectiles and things like this. You can use it like StarCraft Medivac micro, where you're going drops. In and out. Yeah, the little drops in and out.
I also really like the mini games. They're not set in stone. Like, there's multiple mini games. Like 4 so far that I've seen. And then they also have those like little mini storerooms where different characters will try and give you buffs. Like, I don't know, Doom is trade 6.6 regen for 666 gold, or Morphling will let you trade strength for int or something like that. Those add to it too, like different people you run into every run, so it makes it a lot of fun.
I reckon Viper is probably good, because I feel like that's one I remember from last time. You know, get like Octarine and do really high DPS and tons of spell lifesteal and just mince down bosses, but also be really good at rooms and stuff. I think Octarine's a good item in general.
Very good. And it's tough because some people don't have, those old characters. It's just kind of random as who. I don't think I have Viper, but Viper is very good. Split damage. And he has lots of good talents. I was playing Ursa because I have him unlocked. And he doesn't have... I don't think you can do the status resistance build plus cooldown reduction to where he had 100% damage reduction.
Right.
100% uptime. Like, that's not a thing anymore, but he does still have... Like, Enrage makes his Earth Shock go off all the time. That's pretty good for clearing rooms and being kind of like able to stand up and tank things. I'm sure Tusk is still awesome.
Did you buy Co-op Stam?
I unlocked it.
So you paid to... You use your shards to get Co-op?
No, level 5.
Battle Pass.
Battle Pass, level 5.
Battle Pass.
Random reward. You get a random hero every few levels. So you get one at level 5, you get another one at level 38. So I don't know, we'll see how far I get with this Battle Pass.
I think I got 4 heroes by 100 or something.
Right. Do we know how long this Battle Pass lasts for?
There's 10 weeks of weekly quests, so it's at least 10. It's probably 10. Maybe 11, I would think.
Should we look at the Battle Pass more widely? Is there anything else you want to mention on Ag's Lab? Or is it... I mean, we'll be revisiting it in future pods with Ag's Lab Corner, no doubt. At least until you guys have completed it. So
no Ag's Lab, but do we want to hit games real fast? I only think so. You know how Marco had a full DotA buff page of green?
Yeah.
I almost have a full DotA buff page of white because it's all custom game. No win or loss.
Not scored.
Just custom games. There's that one Tusk game I played that's ruining it. The only thing I have...
That's only because I dragged you into it as well.
Yeah, you dragged me into it. That was a fun game. I should play more Tusk. I like that hero. I won a game as 4 Juggernaut. That was pretty cool. Just spinning on people because they picked techies. So I was like, I'm just going to spin and right-click mines.
Interesting.
And then I played a Dazzle, and the enemy team had Crystal Maiden, Earth Spirit, and Venomancer. And I just rushed an Ags, and that felt awesome. You just like... Veno tries to debuff one of your heroes, and you're just like Shadow Wave. I purged the debuff. Oh, you're rooted, purge the debuff. Oh, you're silenced, purge the debuff. And it's on such a low cooldown. It's pretty obnoxious if you're allowed to constantly heal people. just purging them of 3 of their heroes, like, strategies. Yeah. And if only I had been a Dazzle that game when I was Tusk. That's what we needed. When you were Medusa and you're just getting slowed a ton. If I could have just kept purging you, that would have been it. Yeah.
That was an interesting game, actually. It's sort of maybe eye-opening's a bit strong, but for context, Marco, I was a Deucer and I had really good farm. I was like way ahead, so I was like 8-9k ahead of the next hero, but in fights, we were against a Kunkka with Torrent Storm and with the Tidal Wave BS, and against a Heaven's Halberd, and against a Venno with Gale and Ags for the ult and everything. And so I was just like mega farm Deucer, but just couldn't hit during fights. It's like literally like 50 movement speed, and they would just like, I couldn't hit anything. And that was like a interesting case study in like how to deal with, I mean, I guess particularly a Medusa, because Medusa's so naturally slow, but it was a case study in like how to deal with
who was the carry
hero.
Did you end up losing?
Yeah, we ended up losing. Yeah. I mean, we would have won if I'd played better. I mean, we would have won if the team played better as well, obviously, but I didn't play very well, even as a Deucer, but that was quite an interesting game.
Who was the carry, though?
Ursa with Diffusal was like, it was a good Ursa game.
So
we had
the real problem is track gold on the other team, but then it's combined with Earthshock, Venno, Poison Sting plus Gale, Quap Shadow Strike, and then just the absurdity of Kunkka and the fact that he has so many movement disrupting abilities now between X-Mark, Torrent Storm, and I don't even know what you call the tidal wave thing, but that's just disgusting.
The tidal wave is ridiculous, yeah. So annoying.
So Stan just couldn't walk. He was like basically 100 move speed, constantly X-marked, and he basically got tidal waved to the fountain, enemy fountain, and just would die. It's like
it was so odd.
Can't do anything for you.
Because Kunkka would X-mark himself, run towards us, then blink just the other side of me to tidal wave me like a skewer. Then I'd be 50 move speed. I like man up, and maybe I kill them because I do so much damage. I'm a massive Medusa, but then like we're not killing Kunkka because it's Kunkka. He's naturally got so much HP, and he's X-marked himself back to fountain. I'm 50 move speed, so I'm just going nowhere. Tidal wave back off cooldown does it the same thing. I'm just like in the fucking fountain. Like what? That was a good game. It's quite fun though. But yeah. Marco, do you have anything you want to add on games?
Yeah. Been humbled. Been humbled by Gaben and the Dota gods. Because, last week we ended it with a 14 win streak, I think. Yeah. And then I got 15. What was the game that got 15? Oh wait, no! Did I set the record last week? Maybe I've set the record already.
I think you set the record. You did.
Christ! So this week's just complete fail then. In that
you lost it.
I lost it. So scraped past the record. Yeah, okay. We spoke about this last week. I played Troll. We had a nice 4 stack. Yeah, so clinched the record. It's now 15. Dota buff page full green, big pog, and then the 16th game. Red, it was just me and Stan. Maybe 2 stacks, just a bit too weird and hard, but holy shit, Gaben was like, here's a game that you can't win, go play it. I've got this rank 2.9k Earthshaker, POS 3. That's a high rank. 23 minutes in the game, I think it's 253. His Divine Pal, POS 4 player, is 153 at 23 minutes. That's an involvement every 5 minutes. So you nearly DC, you don't, you go and tag a kill and then AFK 5. It's unbelievable how little they were involved. And I was a Weaver, Stan was Dazzle, we didn't lane great, I did play poorly, we were on the ropes, losing every lane. But I'm here as a Weaver fighting. Literally 100% K plus A. We've got a Zeus, somehow doesn't get involved. Just trying to keep us in it, but we just can't. We're not doing anything. It's so hard. The enemy team's playing like mega good. It's just an impossible game to win. So the streak came to an end, got humbled. So now I don't really care about Dota anymore. It's all about Lab. I'm a Lab gamer now for the winter.
Well, you gotta watch out with the Lab. My first run of trying Tier 3, I had a baby rager who gave up Act 1, Room 1.
How'd you give up?
He died once and just said, "I'm not playing with Disruptor anymore." This guy on our, it was just 4 random people. He just chose someone. It's like, I'm done. But he won't tank the abandon, so he's just like feeding all of our potions and just raging.
In the past, you could leave, right, without repercussion.
You can't leave now.
But they've changed it.
You get low priority.
I feel like it worked fine last time, right? Because no one...
So they don't want people to just, like, immediately leave if they don't get a good roll on their legendary shard.
That didn't really happen that much, though, did it, I feel?
I don't think so, but I guess...
I feel like now we're going to have more... I don't know, I feel like we could have more Greece now, where people don't leave. Whereas last time it was like, yeah, some people might just leave minute 1... because it goes bad, because the heroes are shit, but that was the worst case scenario.
There's already been a big thread on Reddit about it, where someone ended up raging before one of the bonus rooms, and they refused to get into the Ogre or the Hoodwink or the Pudge or whatever.
Yeah, and you're hostage.
They held it hostage for like hours, because nobody on the team wanted to tank and abandon, and I guess that person was happy just to ruin it. But it is pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like worse. That one event sounds worse than the aggregate of all those, like, 10, 20 games that you've played where someone abandons minute 1 because the lineup shit. Yeah, you just queue up again, get a game. Like, no one ever abandoned in the middle of a run because they were invested in... Like, they just didn't have an incentive. But now people have this incentive of punishing other people, and so they choose to be a Norbit and screw everyone over. It feels like it's got worse, that rule.
Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting also how it develops, because I imagine the player base for Agslab will be maybe not too sharp, but it will decline over time. We're at, like, peak Agslab now. And the later on into the battle pass it goes, it'll be more tryhards left over. So that's good news for you guys. It will get easier to get level 5 probably. Because the only people that are going to be playing it in like 8 weeks are going to be people probably trying to do level 4 and level 5 and stuff. Who aren't really going to grief. My games, so the big bad button has been pressed. The nuclear button, as I announced on our sort of Dota chat, 10 recalibration that is. So 10 games. I've actually played 6 of them already. So
wow,
I've actually been flying into Dota this week. COVID times as it is. I needed tokens before I did it. So. And annoyingly now I've only got 2 tokens left and I've got 4 games left. So one of these recals is going to have to be like a pos 5, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, got a quick Winter Wyvern loss in there for tokens. So
I saw that and I thought, why is Stan playing Winter Wyvern ranked calibration game? What is...
It's not a calibration.
Okay, it was. Okay,
that was pre-calibration. That was in preparation for recalibration, was to get tokens. So I'll just play Wyvern. Doc was banned, and I probably didn't want to play Doc anyway. It's a bit boring. Anyway, people that are familiar with the Magic T rank experience will know that if you win one game, you're winning 10, and if you lose one game, you're losing 10. And unfortunately, for me, it hasn't really gone like that. It's been a more Marco Taco ranked experience of win one, lose one. First game was probably the simplest. I can't remember it being too difficult. Viper mids, quite comfortable win. not a lot to say. I played with a Grandmaster Hoodwink, which is quite impressive given the hero's not been out for very long to be level 30 Grandmaster. So I was feeling great after that. And then the second game was a loss. And honestly, this is where it turned. That if I'd won this game, I'm like, it's 10-0 recalibration. It's 10-0 recalibration. I'm dreaming. During this game, I'm dreaming because it's going so well. I'm imagining, you know, my feet up on Christmas Day with a divine badge, just like smiling to my family and friends, just full of confidence. This one hurt so I played Puck, so no fear, pick Puck. Felt like I played well, could have obviously played a lot better, but it was absolutely fine. Laned mid against an Invoker and kind of just like schooled him a bit. We were 9k up, we had a Drow Ranger that was really quite poor. You know when you've got a carry and you're like doing bits on the map and you're like, as long as our carry doesn't die randomly in the next 4 minutes, our movements and stuff are good because we're sort of making space and stuff. And I'd be on all chat like, Drow, by the way, they're all missing. They're probably going to gank you. Like, they've got Earth Spirit. And then he'd be like, yeah, it's fine. And then like a second later he'd die. And I'd be like, fuck. Long story short, we kill their Medusa without buyback. Their, you know, raid boss Medusa that's literally double net worth of any of their other heroes. And basically we get their throne to 10% HP and then lose and die, and they just come and finish because it was like a death push. But there's so many things, because I watched this replay like in pain. There's so many things that if we'd done differently, we would have won. Just in the last minute alone, there's so many, because we get the throne's basically dead. The first thing is if Drow Ranger clicks the throne at the end, we win. That's the simplest.
So what's Drow doing instead of hitting throne?
Hitting a hero. Hitting a Mars that's just standing next to her with blade mail for no reason. Just if 3-4 maybe max more shots on throne, we win, and instead Drow's going for a kill. So that just is the most biggest obvious thing.
Yeah.
Despite that, there's still things we could have done. So just to go over my mistakes, because these are maybe the most interesting. When we're killing Medusa with no, the rest of the heroes are dead on the enemy team. It's just Medusa, and Medusa's ran away on this really long, slow retreat because Sanking interrupts the TP, so Medusa can't TP, so she's trying to run away. She gets all, and it's like mid-fight sort of thing, and then we're like, oh, Medusa's alive without bite, like we need to hunt. She gets all the way to the river and is just entering Dire Jungle, Medusa's Dire, on this retreat, and I boots have travelled to the other side of the map, and I coil Medusa, and then hit with my Witchblade, Silence and Orb, and Sanking comes in silence. Basically, I don't think I needed to coil. I think would have just killed her with the slow from Witchblade, which would give enough time for team to come and kill. And that would have been, if I'd used coil in the last fight, just blink coil their fountain so heroes can't get out and distract Drow Ranger or like just be annoying at the end. We would have won. Second of all, another thing is
that one seems overly harsh to criticize the coil, unless it was super obvious that the Medusa was dead.
It was a fine coil because we should have won anyway if Drow Ranger hits the building. But another one that was more costly is me, when we're hitting throne at the end, I blink in. I just blink really unnecessarily for no real reason. Again, this is all within the context of if Drow Ranger hits throne, we win, so it doesn't really matter. But even so, like, I might have been able to finish the throne myself, if I hadn't used this blink, because I get caught out with. It's really unfortunate because I phase shift to dodge, and Mars just catches me with a spear out of phase shift, which is like very fortunate timing for him. But anyway, didn't need to happen. Also, Sanking is right-clicking top tower for ages for some reason, even though we're already going through mid. And just all these calamities that basically result in us losing in like a game we've already won. So then anyway, that is not what you want to see in ranked. Like a 9k throw where the enemy throne's at 10% HP. And you'll appreciate this. The enemy team are like all chat flame each other, like report whatever, report Pugner, report Invoker, trash players, GG, like joke game, and it's just like, this feels good, seeing the enemy implosion while you're hitting throne, and then they respawn and Drow doesn't hit, and it's just a disaster at the end. Anyway, that was game 2. That was the turning point, and I assure the listeners I won't talk as long about the other one. So then I got a Viper win in to make it 2-1, and this is the last game I'll go into because the others aren't as interesting, but this was a win with pure force of will. So when there's a lot on the line, when you're doing recalibrations, I feel like you're just PMA automatically, because it's like you like have to be. There's too much on the line for you to make any even micro mental decision to like tilt, because it's going to lower your chance of winning. So basically this game was team mental implosion, like literally 2 minutes in. So my team are like flaming each other pre-horn, I look bot, my Drow Ranger's standing still, not hitting creeps, so she can all chat, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like the worst thing I've ever seen. Drow Ranger dies, instantly buys back, and TP's mid to my lane. Bear in mind, this is like 3 minutes into the game, so my carries died, bought back, and come to my lane. I'm like, well, at least I get a bottle refill, which is maybe too optimistic to think. So I pass my bottle to Drow. She TP's in. She destroys it. And I'm like, okay, I've had my bottle destroyed. This is 2.5 minutes into a game. Then Drow Ranger walks walks in, and I'm like, I'm like in damage limitation mode, because like I'm seeing a 1-2 recalibration. I'm seeing the legend flag, basically. I'm seeing a divine symbol turn into a legend symbol. I'm like, this can't be happening. So then I'm like, no, it's fine, just take mid. So I TP bot, and Drow dies mid, like dies again, and it's just like, this is my carrier. I can't believe I'm going to be 1-2. But basically, through the other 4 players in our team, so we have a Barra, a Shadow Shaman, and a Tree, we basically win the game with just 4 heroes, and Drow Ranger's just like AFK, and do you know when someone's so tilted just from life, I guess, that even though you're winning the game, they're like still molding and they're still like feeding.
So annoying.
It's like one of those situations where we're actually doing really fine. We're like even on gold, battling it out 15, 20 mins in. And like the Drow Ranger, our carry, is like still not even trying. So we'll just like walk lazily into a fight and die, almost semi-deliberately, just to then all chat and be like, GG, game over. And we're like, just farm. Like, I'm being nice to this Drow on chat. Like, just chill, it's fine. But the childishness of people in Dota is unbelievable. So this Drow was shipping neutral items to herself to hold in backpack so we couldn't use them. This is like 15 minutes into a game that we're winning. Or that's even. Yeah, we reported, even though we won.
Okay. Well, just making sure.
I don't understand, what's
well-versed,
what's wrong with people.
Well-practiced griefing.
Yeah.
Well-practiced griefing.
That is. You have to know that.
I wouldn't even think to do that, yeah.
Yeah, that's not instinctive. That's premeditated.
This continues until we win, and it's almost like the Drow Ranger in the end participates and wins. It takes, I think the Drow gets an ultra kill near the end of the game, and then is like, okay, then decides, I guess I may as well win even though I'm upset and tilted, and we win anyway. Then the next, so then I'm 2-1, get a Viper loss in. That was a really, really tough game. Really, really tough game. Won't go into it, but it was just very difficult game. We could have won. I had again, just team mega grief, faceless voids that didn't use chrono for 25 minutes in a game that we need to skirmish in. Very sad. Then got a Ember loss in. So bear in mind, at this point, I was 2 wins, 3 losses. I played really bad in this Ember game. The whole team played terribly. They had a CK and a Wraith King, which is all you need, I think, to just win every game you play in Ancient Bracket. They had a Silencer mid that also was very difficult. And then I just won a Viper game earlier, so 3-3.
3-3, I gotta hand it to you.
Yeah.
Old Stan, that would have been a 1-9.
Yeah.
Let's be real, because we know that you either, or if you had won, you would have been 9-1 or something. That's how it works for you. But you, have been. It's well played to keep it even for sure.
The mental fortitude of the losing that throw in 10%. Oh, that is mind-breaking pain when it's calibration and the wind's there. And then that Drow one, that story got bad.
Get your destroyed.
Not just ruining his game with the dieback, but then destroying your mids bottle is, fucking hell. That's heavy.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff. That was a win. That was a stolen win.
Stolen
from the depths
valor.
of grief, yeah. Maybe that was justice for the puck loss before.
Yeah,
Gabe
one
giving
way
me
you
a
can
bit of
balance
justice.
it. Yeah.
But anyway, it's a bit annoying to be 3-3 because I sort of was hoping that maybe I could be like
7-3 still on.
The 7-3's on. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the 7-3's
6-4 is good for a calibration. 7-3 Dream is on.
It's funny though. Maybe I was a bit. I don't think I would have taken 6-4 like pre-calibration. I wouldn't have taken that. I don't think I had higher dreams because I'd won. I still do have higher dreams, especially on Viper. Like Viper feels so easy, and it depends what carry hero. My like the game I just played. My carry's Wraith King. I just feel like I can't lose because I've got a Wraith King, which is just every time I play against Wraith King or play with Wraith King, it's like. The people in my bracket, myself included, are too bad at reincarnation. Just breaks it short circuits the ancient mind having reincarnation. So you're like, let's kill Wraith King, and I do it as well. So this is very much a self flame as well, and it's just like Wraith King dies, you're waiting 4 seconds for him to come back alive. The enemy team comes in, you lose a team fight, and you're like, so that's why this hero's so good in ranked. But anyway,
do you feel like I wonder what the calibration swings are going to be like? Because obviously in the past they've been pretty swingy, and you get quite a lot for a win and a loss. Do you feel like your games are the same? Are they the same medals as they were before Cals? Is it still just very much?
I'm going 1 win, 1 loss. So yeah, they are.
You never move them.
It's just 3 times. That's all it is now. That it is just every game counts 3 times as much. So if I finish 6-4, that's a net 6 win.
Yeah, net 6 wins is huge.
That's a medal, probably. So if I finish 6-4, maybe I'm Ancient 5, and I can get a little push into Divine. Probably not for Christmas, though. 7-3, maybe Santa's got to find a little present under the Christmas tree.
Yeah, 7-3, that's a lot.
Cheeky ding, yeah. Also, I was thinking, just a final word on recalibration. This might be the last recalibration we see, because the resetting seasons I don't think happens anymore, and every account has 1 recalibration. So recalibration's sort of a thing of the past. You know, they're not going to reset the season now, are they? Ever, I don't think. Or it would be quite shocking if they did, because it's been 2 years since they last reset it?
I don't know. I feel like it's been a long time.
Yeah. So
they say it. They always say like it would be twice a year, but then it ends up being once a year, and I can't even remember the last time they did it.
Yeah, it's been years.
Super long now. Anyway, so that's my recal. Next episode there'll be the lowdown, the last 4 games. Let's maybe talk about the battle pass then, outside of Ag's Lab. And I'll open the floor to you guys because I've just been spieling about my games for ages. Top of the ticket is this Drow Arcana and Mirana Persona. What are your views? What are the ratings?
I think the Drow's pretty sweet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She had a cool remodel, and then this coming in. I don't know how I feel about the crossbow as a weapon. To me, crossbows, in lore sense, not really an agile weapon. I guess Hoodwink's got one, but that's a bit of a flimsy crossbow. This one's like a ballista. I swear it's the size of Drow, so I'm a bit like, you're kind of running around with this ballista that's the same size as you and just popping off them. I'd rather the bow and arrow, but I get that it's a cool design. And then the hero, it's nothing too crazy, but adds an edge of cool. Don't mind. 6 out of 10. No, I'm only kidding. 7.5 out of 10. 5 out of 7, whatever the meme is.
For what?
Drow.
Just the Drow Arcana?
Yeah. It's good.
I'm going to hold off until I get to play with it. But I like it. I do wish the Arcana wasn't a bow or like a crossbow. Like I was kind of hoping it'd be a headpiece or a cape or something. Because they already have that like very rare, cool looking bow from
I see. Yeah.
TI 2 years ago or something, but you gotta go with the Arcana item if you have it.
Yeah, I'm sort of in agreement with, well, you both really. I really like the model. I think the head is really cool with like the sort of demon eyes and hair and stuff looks cool.
Blood.
And the model, yeah. But the crossbow itself could have been better. I mean, it's a cool looking thing, but now that Marcos made the comparison with Hoodwink, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, I'm now getting even stronger
like.
Hoodwink vibes. Like, it's just the same kind of shooting style as a Hoodwink. It's like,
yeah,
that's a negative.
And then the Mirana persona anime mode.
Outroar.
I'm giving that a 10 out of 10.
Weren't people flaming it?
Yeah, of course people are flaming it because they think it's not a remodel though. It's a persona. I'm in the camp of it's not a remodel of the hero because it is a character from the anime and it has all new voice lines. That's not a remodel. That is a persona.
Why would it being a remodel cause flame?
The people are saying that Valve are locking a remodel behind a paywall.
Ah, I see.
Is what they're saying. That, Mirana is like bottom 2 or 3 worst models in the game.
I see.
People have been begging for a remodel for 5 years because her face is all messed up. And they're saying now that they've finally done it, it's locked behind a paywall. And I don't think it's a remodel. I think it's a persona because it has completely different voice lines than Mirana and it has a different voice actor and it's based off of the show character.
I'm on the Mirana of Night Silver persona page, and at the bottom it says there's a bullet point that says all new models from Mirana and Sagan. So, I mean, I don't care that it's behind a paywall. I mean, it's like it's a new skin that's cooler than you just call it an Arcana, and then people don't care, do they?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, these personas are kind of on the level of Arcana, anyways.
Yeah, like think about Ogre Arcana. That's basically a remodel, isn't it? The hero's side looks totally different. Yeah, I think it looks really good. Hopefully they'll give Mirana a remodel at some point, but I really like this one. And the Starfall looks cool, yeah.
You can't mix and match your other cosmetics with it because it takes over the full slot. Like you can't like they will have to look this way, so I don't know. People are going to complain about stuff regardless of whether you can't please 100% of everybody. And I don't know. I was pleased with it. I think you might be able to get it if you just buy the level 1 pass. We'll see, but there's presumably you can get to level 135 doing it on your own, maybe. But
the
icon on the map looks really bad, though. Or does
anyway. It looks awful.
I think it's a cool. I think it's cool though, and it's low enough that even if you can't get there with just level 1 battle pass, it's not going to take you very much if you really wanted it. So
and let's cost a lot. Be real. Like at some point, probably week 7 or 8, there's going to be a sale on levels. There'll be some bundle or something, and a lot of people will get there.
Yeah. I mean, so I've just demoed it, and I think it's really cool. But to say, it's a remodel is so far from the truth. Because the remodel is the model gets changed and that's it. This has got a lot more to it.
Yeah, it's icons.
All the spells look way cool. Animations are all
lines.
different. Yeah, voice lines different. The models themselves, like the characters, have changed. It's not the same tiger and or whatever it is, and the same Mirana. It's like a new Mirana. It's a persona. It's changed. There's a lot of differences to it that it's not a remodel. It is a really nice persona. It's like way better. I think a lot better than Anti-Mage. I think it helps that you've got spells to cast when you're doing these persona changes. Like say with the DK as well. A Dragon Tail, Dragon Breath, you don't really get much from those spells. But we'll say with Potom, the Starfall looks a lot cooler. They've kind of got two characters in one with so the leap looks pretty cool. And I'm like, this is pretty value for a low level reward in the battle pass. It looks really tidy.
Yeah, I was thinking when I demoed the hero and when I was looking at it in game, imagine if all the Dota heroes had this level of detail. It would be a totally different game to visually. It would look amazing. Let's talk about the creeps. Have you played with the creeps, Adam? The new creeps?
Once, and I only put the siege creeps. Only equipped those.
Yeah.
Not the regular creeps. I never play with the custom creeps because it's just too much visual. I'm just so used to the old ones, but I do think the siege creeps are cool. So I did that as kind of an experiment to see, like, will it mess with me? And I don't think it made too much of a difference with the siege creeps. And I probably will, once I get to the towers, I probably will change those to be the towers.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, because I think that I've always changed the towers because, they're stationary and they kind of look cool.
Yeah, I think they look cool. The creeps, when I first saw them, I was like, whoa, how crazy are they? They look new, but they look super different and interesting. But yeah, when you actually when you're dealing with the clutter in game, it's a different story.
I watched someone stream and they had them and it was very hard to watch. But I mean, maybe you get used to it, but it was very hard to watch. So I wouldn't be a fan. The tower's a cool idea, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the main draw for me, much like Marco with the Ags Lab, the main reason I would want to level up my battle pass is for the random voice line rewards that you get from the anime and the legacy ones from Ags Lab last time. The friends let us skirmish and the like bok bok bok. And
from
that
bok was quality.
That is what you sound like.
Yeah. And I admit that one used to be spammed so much because it used to get more and more high pitch. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes. Oh my god.
When you did it in a row.
Yeah. You had a combo, yeah.
Yeah, so at the end it would just be like, sound ridiculous. And the ones from the anime are quite cool as well. I've heard people being the spamming, do you love me? And stuff.
How'd you get the anime ones?
It's just a random reward every X amount of levels. You get, so there's
it's
6 of them, and you get
roll for.
You get one of them randomly. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
there's a little mouse one. There's a little mouse one of some kind.
Yeah, run little mouse. Yeah.
Yeah, I need that one.
Oh, yeah. No, you scaly bastard. Imagine that.
Oh, no, that would have been so funny. I'd love that. That actually would get me. I probably would have to purchase some levels. I'd be like, fair enough, Gabe. You got me with that. I'll admit.
Have you, while on the voice lines, have you listened to the Ags Lab voice lines? Level 5 is literally, no, oh well.
Yeah, yeah.
Compared to the massive, long, manic laughter followed by "Let's do this." Let's do. Absolutely uncomparable. So much worse. Fucking level 5. That's gonna be so hard to get. I guess they thought
nobody was gonna be able to do it.
so they gave you a crap reward. I mean,
I don't know.
Good, surprisingly good for the 4th tier.
Well,
compared to bok, 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 that is what you sound like.
Yeah.
Good, but surprisingly good. Bloody hell, it's like Bake Off or something. Fucking dull.
Bake Off? The Great British Bake Off? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it is like that.
You mean it's like pure mundane.
Yeah, very, very boring. The old ones are actually so good. They could have put any of the old ones at level 5, and it would be worth it, I think. Yeah. We've got an immortal treasure, and we've got Doom playing a guitar. Has Dota gone too far?
I think these treasures... I don't know. I don't know if
they even speak to me. There was... Yeah. Was there a Witch Doctor one where he looked like a robot?
That's a
different one.
Axe
Yeah.
That one's kind of cool.
That one looks like Void Spirit. No, Void. Faceless Void to me.
Which one's that? Is that the Aghanim's Ageless Heirlooms? Is that a different one? Because there's three different treasures, isn't there?
Yeah.
I can't remember which one that is, but yeah.
I do think they nailed the 3 sets for the Cavern Crawl. Those are solid. The Faceless Void one is very nice.
That's interesting. The ones in the Cavern Crawl don't do it for me, especially the Faceless Void one.
Really?
I demoed it, and I was like, I'm not you can't really see it. I just thought this... It looks a bit weird. It just looks like a black head on... Because
in the loadout, it looks good.
Yeah, the loadout looks really cool, but it's just too obscure, the sort of void bit.
Right, and your hero, since you're 3D top down, it's like you don't get to see the face. And a lot of people lock the portraits, which kind of ruins it.
I do think the Treant second style is really cool, purple and blue, because that you can notice that's a totally new sort of colour scheme for Treant. So that might trigger Marco, but that looks pretty cool. Bounty as well, I think, is a cool one. The Void one's my least favourite. But I actually like the Immortal Treasures, to be honest with you. I think Doom playing a guitar is just ridiculous, and like I kind of love it.
I love the ultra rare. That has to be good. Yeah,
and then the taunts are really solid too. I don't know if you've looked at the taunts.
Some of them.
There's the Wraith King one where like he's on his throne and the skeletons carry him. And there's one where Night Stalker just like does a flip and smacks his ass. Like that one made me laugh pretty good. But then they nerf taunts.
Yeah.
Like you can't spam them.
What's the change?
It's like they put a timer in between. It's like you do it once, you get to do it again, then it's got like a 20-second window maybe, and you do it again, it's a 60-second window. It used to be like every 3 seconds you're spamming taunts.
Yeah, no, that's pretty rough. The cosmically rare emblem is pretty pog. It's probably the coolest emblem that we've had because it's got those spinning cool things on them, whatever the Ags stuff is. My goodness, the price has gone down. Holy smoke. So when I looked yesterday, this was or the day before yesterday when it first came out, it was 1.4k, and now apparently it's 690 quid. Wow. You feel bad if you... Well, actually, I was going to say you feel bad if you bought one on release, but actually, to be fair, if you're splashing 1.4k on a DotA item, I don't think
you don't care.
You don't care, yeah.
It was worth it for having it 8 hours before the next person.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else to go over with this Battle Pass, really?
Controller support. I don't know if you've seen... I watched... somebody play Pudge with a PS4 controller. And wow. I don't know how that like
any good hooks. Pudge wins games.
He did it in a bot game, but it was like I do not know how anyone could find this manageable or fun outside of a meme to test. Because it's not even just like casting spells. It's buying things in the shop. It's like you have this little green tracer in front of you. And then you have to press L2 and R2 to switch between ally and enemy creeps. You know, who to last hit and stuff. It's like, how are you supposed to ever learn this?
Well, I feel like there must have been quite a bit of effort to make Unless this was like a 30-minute job.
No, because they're going to try and make it work with the Steam Deck.
And they seriously think people will play Dota on a controller?
Well, the Steam Deck is a controller. Like, no, but it's kind of like a Nintendo Switch or whatever. So you
but it's still playing Dota on a controller, and they think people might do that.
Maybe.
We've got to have a new meta in-house with controller only.
Oh my god!
I mean, could you imagine playing Void Spirit? I mean, you'd have to play Wraith King. Like, who else do you...
Lifesteal, you just minimize. Minimize buttons. Shadow stats and auras.
Just techies, because no one can right-click a mine in time, so it's going to blow up.
But, I mean, how can they... I don't know. They actually think people would play on a controller? To me, it just feels like the most dead, useless, wasted investment. So unless it was 30 minutes to do, fair enough, but I feel like this would take quite a bit of time and effort to make happen.
How could you play an Illusion Hero? How could you play Meepo? How could you... Anything that's outside of your one hero. Like, what you get an illusion rune, what do you do?
Remember the story at TI, that segment where there was that guy who I think was paralyzed in a wheelchair?
Oh, yeah.
Who was playing, and he was still fucking like legend or something. He's like he's basically as good as me. Playing with his clicking by moving his head and controlling a joystick with his mouth. That is unbelievable.
And he's playing Mirana.
Yeah, he's playing Mirana, yeah.
Did he have a mouse?
He's got a high battle pass.
And or keyboard? It wasn't just... It wasn't... I feel like he'd learned a setup that was still more complex than a controller. In terms of
was more
what he was able to... Yeah. So, obviously harder to do than a controller, but still had more features than a controller.
He might have had a keyboard with one hand.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I think because what I remember is him using his head and mouth as the mouse. So I think that was the difficult part. So he had like a little button next to his head that he would like
a forehead thing.
Yeah, he'd like knock a button with his head to click, or left click or right click, I suppose. Maybe one side, I don't know. And he would control the mouse with a controller joystick that he'd operate with his mouth. So I think he might have had he might have had one hand for a keyboard or something. But anyway, that's not really relevant because that's someone that's not able to use a mouse and keyboard.
Right, but also I think a joystick or whatever that's set up is still better than a controller. You need a point-click thing. Like, you could almost play Dota with, like, a stylus. You know?
It'd be better with a stylus, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems... You could play with, like, a stylus and then your left hand be on a controller and you have some buttons set up for abilities or items and stuff. But just to have everything on buttons, I don't feel like it translates. But we'll see. I mean, now it's definitely going to be a flame where if someone plays badly, it's like, oh, we got a controller player over here. Yeah, or are you playing on your Guitar Hero guitar?
Yeah. There are a couple things maybe we hadn't mentioned. Quick mention of the hoodwink thing. There's a hoodwink mega item thing that looks pretty cool. Haven't seen it in game, but custom scurry, they chose probably the worst spell to have a custom effect on, but there you go. Looks pretty cool. Got a mask on. Go get level 277 if you're a hoodwink spammer. I guess we have nothing else to say on that.
Yeah, none of us play. It does look nice though.
It does look cool. Yeah. Do we want to finish the app off with a word on the DPC maybe? Because your boys, EG, what's going on? They're getting relegated. Are they in a battle with Arcos to get relegated?
Not sure. It's come to play yet.
I don't know what we were talking about. My head is in the sand, and there have been no games played. So,
I see. Okay. Well, in terms of China Tier 1 DPC, which is all my best fantasy lineup, there has been no games played. So I don't understand how that even works. Because they're locking week 4, and we haven't even played week 1 yet. So Well, I don't know what's going on. All I know is I've got gold, nothing to say, so that's all she wrote. EG aren't actually going to make the major, are they? It's going to be Quincy Crew and Undying, unless there's some sort of miraculous turnaround. That's pretty rough. And also the other thing that I don't understand is there's only been the first 4 weeks scheduled, and on Liquipedia there's no like week 5, week 6. Is that just because it hasn't, the date and time hasn't been arranged yet? It's not, there's not some short season or something.
That's a good question. Only 4 weeks showing. I hope they're gonna add more weeks.
Yeah, because it's the same with like Western Europe, Division 1 and all the rest of it. They just show 4 weeks, and it's like teams, there's 2 teams that each team isn't scheduled to play currently. But that must be coming, surely. You can't just say, oh, by the way, Alliance don't have to play Secret or something like that. That just seems ridiculous.
It is embarrassing that EG aren't going to qualify. Yikes, they're actually going through opens for TI.
There aren't any opens for TI anymore, are there? It's these weird regional tournament things.
Yeah, I guess the closed qualifiers for anyone
no, there
who's
is
playing
open.
DPC.
Sorry, there is open qualifiers, isn't there? You qualify for those qualification tournaments, don't you?
No, it was open qualifiers for Div 2, and then anyone who's in Div 2 or Div 1 goes into the closed qualifier.
Ah.
So that's how Team Bold did it. Team Bold got into Div 2 via open qualifier. That's how they became a Div 2 team. And then because they were a Div 2 team, they got into TI quals and things like this.
Right. Makes sense. Cool, well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty awkward. Fucking awkward, but you know. Apparently, Europe seems quite exciting. I wish I had time to watch all the VODs and stuff.
Yeah.
With Liquid OG, Secret, Tundra, this Tickles team. Who's that?
I mean,
Ace
Enigma
Boom.
Galaxy.
Enigma just tanking. It's pretty exciting times.
It is interesting. It's cool to see Liquid doing so well, which is kind of surprising. Maybe not surprising. I guess they do have class players. Matumba Man is like
they've upgraded big time, getting Matu and Zai. No offense to the last guys, but these seasoned players.
Yeah. OG somehow like look really good, even though they've got 5 players that, other than Tiger, they're not. I guess Misha a bit, but Uragi, BZM, and Amar are like nobodies, really, the 3 cores. Not nobodies, but they're basically just pub players. So it's kind of surprised that they're doing so well, but it depends who they've played, I suppose. I can't remember who they've been playing.
They 2-0'd Secret was the big one. Because Amar, I don't know, seems like some aggro pub player that's always calling out people, 16-year-old. And it's like, I don't know what the drama is. I sense that there's some kind of pub, I don't know, relation.
Jesus, he's born in 2005. Christ.
What the hell?
What?
That is crazy.
It's like
allowed.
I'm twice his age. Oh, Lord.
That's ridiculous, yeah. Because
I'm old.
What? It's almost 10 years after I'm born. That's crazy.
It's that Saving Private Ryan meme where Matt Damon, at the end of the movie, the GIF, and he just ages. That's what makes me feel like I'm just an old man.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, Battle Pass, fun times, Cavern Crawl, Hag's Blessing, quests, recalibration, lots of fun things. Have a final whistle and we'll see you again in a week's time.